In Brad we trust, let's go.
I swear to God, I'm a classic trapper. The power and respect is the stats of matter. These haters talking shit cause they trapping backwards. But I would never quit, I'm like Matthew Stafford. I brought out to the end. Come back when the English D gon' set the trend. 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 I swear to
1, 2, 3. What's up, Lions fans? This your boy ALLEYLIFE, and I'm back with another episode of from the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. We just heard a video from the head coach, Dan Campbell. He just expressed his feelings on what we would have to call, I would say, a bittersweet game. Man, we had a great game defensively, offensively, but we lost one of our best players in the game with Aiden Hutchinson. He's not gone for good. He will be back. You can remember Aiden Hutchinson broke his ankle in Michigan, and he came back, and he had his best season after he came back from injury. So he's one of those work hard people who's everybody know he's going to come back, and you know what I'm saying, he's going to be even better and have an even more productive year when he do come back. So we giving all prayers to Aiden and his family and hope he has a speedy recovery and everything. But if one more person texts me about, did you see the injury? Did you actually see the video? I'm going to smack you in the mouth, because I got a phone and I got social media. So of course, if I want to see it, I could have seen it myself. If that's what you want to watch, then you chase that part of it, and that's cool for you. If I want to watch it, I watch. The NFL didn't show it at the time, so so it must have been horrible. So I believe them. Like, oh, I think that line. No, I believe them. I believe it was horrible looking. So yeah, I don't want to see it, and quit texting me and trying to make me want to see it because you want to see it or you saw it or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got their own thing they want to roll. So yeah, people quit texting me, trying to text me videos of it. I don't want to see that. Anyway, we're going to start off with how bad we crushed the man. We've been trying to get this out, this little stink from off our back with this Dallas Cowboy team. I mean, it's been, I said the last 2 games since this regime been here, but it's actually been 6 games. So I'm happy for Taylor Decker. Let's give an applause for Taylor Decker. This is his first time in his whole career as a Detroit Lion beating the Dallas Cowboys. So I know this one felt extra good for him. So first we're going to give some stats. Let's run down the stats that, for the game, this game. Because everybody thought this was going to be a real good game, or like a nail biter, or even a race or something but it didn't turn out to be that way. 497 yards, total yards for the Detroit Lions, 251 yards total for the Dallas Cowboys. Passing yards, the Detroit Lions came up with 308 passing yards to the Dallas Cowboys 198 passing yards. Rushing, of course, we're going to dominate in that. On every game we come in that we're going to win, we're going to dominate in rushing. In rushing, we had 184 yards on the ground, opposed to Dallas 53 yards rushing. 7.5 yards per play. That's almost a first down every time you make a play, opposed to Dallas 3.9 yards per play. We had 27 first downs, and Dallas had 16. So that just wraps up, how the game really went. Remember my last video, I said CeeDee Lamb had broke out for us in the last game for 147 yards. I was so wrong by like 60-some yards, because he actually had 227 yards on us the last time that CeeDee Lamb played us. But this time he had 7 catches for 89 yards, no touchdowns, which I think that's awesome. That's awesome, because I said in my last podcast that when Dak said in his interview that he will be going against this defense, he's seen this defense twice already, so they about know what to bring. And I said, don't say that, Dak, because this is not the defense that you have went against in the past couple of years. This is a totally different breed of people, man. This is press coverage. This is man on man. This is right in your face. This is physical. This is not what they was playing, that zone coverage and all of that stuff. And there was busted coverages everywhere because they wasn't good zone players. So this was a totally different defense, as he's seen, because they did not score at home. Dallas Cowboys did not score a touchdown at home. They had to settle for 3 field goals. Wow, I mean, that's incredible within itself. That's incredible within itself. Now, first we're going to start off with this. What are we going to say about, first I want to talk a little bit about Aiden Hutchinson. Remember, Aiden Hutchinson is a 3-year player. He is on his 3rd year. He was drafted in the 1st round. He was the 2nd round pick. He was the 2nd pick overall. Remember, it was a kind of dispute between the 1st and the 2nd guy, and they was like, they didn't know if they would take Aiden just because he was from Michigan, and they feel like that was forcing the issue. And then other people said that the other guy was a better player. It was a Thibodeau. I don't know. Thibodeau ended up going to the Giants. He's doing pretty good, but we know Aiden was the cream of the crop in that draft. And I just had to throw out there. I was just thinking about that. I don't know. It just kind of hit me because he was leading the league in sacks with 6.5. You know what I'm saying? He was leading the league in hits, and he was on a pace to maybe a 15, 20 sack season and a Pro Bowl season. So I just thinking about that, and definitely he'll be back. It ain't no sad thing because the Lions is all about the next man up. You cannot replace Hutch, but everybody's going to step up. You're not going to get the same player, the same thing as Hutch, but you can still be an effective defense, and that's what I think they plan. That's what Hutch think. Hutch know that defense is not predicated around him and one man, no one man. So anyway, what did we do today? What did the Lions put up? It's so many good things to say about this game and the Lions. Like it's like, would he just say a bunch of good stuff or say a bunch of obvious things that everybody already has said? But what I do want to say, remember my prediction about who will be some very key players in this game. And I said Tim Patrick, Sam Laporta, and Khalif Raymond. And what do you know? Tim Patrick, Sam Laporta, and Khalif Raymond all had probably their best games of the season. Well, not probably. All 3 of them had their best game of the season. Tim Patrick had 3 receptions with 68 yards. And let me tell you, the first reception that he caught, if y'all look at the film, the first reception that he caught was an interception. Jared underthrew the ball. He literally came back, got in position, took his hand, and kind of pushed the guy to the side and caught the ball. Going down to the ground, excellent catch for a first down. I think it was like a 13-yard, and it was a 3rd down play. I mean, that's the stuff Josh Reynolds used to do. He don't see the speed. He not blazing, and it looked like he's kind of covered with the body on him, but he could make them big body contested catches, and that's what I believe Tim is bringing to the thing, no doubt. 3 receptions for 68, and he almost got in for that touchdown. He was like a inch away. So that's just 3 weeks of him learning this offense. He's only been learning this offense for 3 weeks. So, like I said, in week 9, it's going to be incredible. The offensive coordinator came out and said, Ben Johnson came out and said in one of his interviews that he had to do better by Khalif Raymond. And what did he do? Khalif Raymond ended up with 6 targets, 4 catches, and 87 yards. Absolutely his best game of the season. You know what I'm saying? And I like that and the coaches letting them know that, hey, you go out there and do your thing on punt return. You line up everything. You be decoy sometimes for St. Brown on certain plays with your motion and the way you cut. And then you cut some of his players when y'all do the crossing routes and stuff. So you're doing a lot of work and not even getting targets in the first 4 games. And Ben Johnson felt like, we can't do anyone like that. Even if they're not complaining or not like, I need the ball. Like, we know you exist. We know your value that you bring to us, and we want to show you that. Just as well as them showing David Montgomery by giving him a new contract. David Montgomery had 2 years left on his contract. So why would you give him? I mean, this is a business. So if you got 2 years, I got this player for 2 more years. Why would you even do that? Because this is the type of organization now, the new Lions, they want to show people their appreciation. Say, I appreciate what you're bringing to you. You have value here. Like you're not a piece of me. We don't look at players in that way. You have value here. What you bring to us as a man and as an individual and as a player and as a talent is value. We'll pay for that. And I think that sends a message throughout the locker room that, bro, anybody in that locker room, like, bro, anybody can get some money. Anybody in that locker room feel like, man, I can ball out and be a starter on this team, or I can definitely get a big contract or a nice contract that fit me. Look at Reeves-Maybin. I know I'm going off the Reeves-Maybin, you know what I'm saying? He came in. That's why they made him the highest paid special teams person in the game. When they needed him to come in as a linebacker, what he did, he came in, punched the ball out, created a fumble. He haven't played linebacker in 4 games. None of this season have he came in, except that day when Barnes left out, they threw him in, but he was on special teams most of the time, and they threw him in because Barnes had left out. So now he's playing and already making plays. Man, this team is just phenomenal with the things that they do. And you got to go, what are you talking about? Defense. Let's go to the defense. The defense was awesome. They played an all-around great game. They played an all-around game. Special teams, defense, offense. So this is like hard to even, they had sacks everywhere. Aleem McNeil had 2 sacks. Nowowski had a sack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Hutch got injured on a sack. They had 5 turnovers, man. Glenn talked about this. Aaron Glenn talked about this a lot. He says, you know, I'm not worried about the turnovers. Because when they come, they start coming in bunches. And he teaches his players not to chase those things. Even Amik first came in, he always talked about how I punched the ball out. When I was in the Raiders, I used to punch the ball out. And now you hear in his interviews, he's saying, I don't want to chase plays. When I was in the Raiders, I was chasing plays. Now I'm just going to let that come to me. If I make an interception or I cause a fumble, it's going to come to me. It ain't going to be me jumping out of character or jumping outside the scheme and trying to make a play because I think, you know what I'm saying, they don't need that here. They need me to just be myself and play my game. They don't need me to make no extra stuff. Let it come to you. And I like that. Everybody is feeling more comfortable in this defense, and they're playing. Terrion didn't get any pass interferences. I know y'all thought Terrion was going to get some pass interference. I know y'all thought that. I know y'all thought that CeeDee Lamb was going to be throwing some deep balls and it was going to catch him and he was going to grab him. I know y'all thought that. But you know what? Detroit thought that too. So what they did on their break is they made sure they worked with him with technique because the boy is a dog. He's going to be a Pro Bowler one day. So they just worked on them with technique, like every good coach and every good team do. You ain't going to go rag on the guy or down like, what you doing? You better quit touching people. No, you don't talk to nobody like that. That ain't how you train or teach nobody to work for you. You know what I'm saying? You let him know, and hey, these are things, it'll come to you. And you teach him about the referees. And you let them know that, hey, the referees have to learn who you are and how you play, and then they'll start calling the game accordingly. Okay, now let's go to this. That's my part. Oh, I have to say my players of the game. We have to give some players of the game. Since everybody played great in this game, who would be the players of the game? It would be some weird stuff if I said Hendon Hooker. What if I said Hendon Hooker was the player of the game? But Hendon Hooker wasn't the player of the game, but bro, 10 minutes into the game and you seeing Hendon Hooker, 10 minutes. You on the road. It's 10 minutes left. Do you know how many times that you look at the clock and it's 10 minutes left in any game with anybody playing and you say, man, it's a lot of team. It's a lot of time left. Like, that's a lot of time left. Anything can happen. But at 10 minutes of this game, both sides felt like, nah, anything can't happen. We about to lose. This game is over with. It's a wrap. And I was talking to my sister about this. And we were saying, that the Lions was doing so good that they was on some honorary stuff. They literally tried to make a big play. They was going to give a play to an offensive lineman. They didn't care how they did it. They didn't care how they did it. They wanted, just because of all that shenanigans that went on in the Dallas last year, with Dan Skipper reporting, and they said he didn't report, and they took the game away from us. With all that being said, they tried their best in this game to get, they threw a touchdown pass to Sue. And like Dan Campbell said, oh, you and Frank gonna have to talk about that. Like, bro, like, you the one took this, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're in the same room. I'm pretty sure they is going to joke about that. Like, bro, like, man, come on, man. You went down the field a little too far because it was an ineligible man down the field. So that was on, you know, the same room. The lineman went down the field a little too far, too quick to start blocking or whatever. So they took that one back. You know what I'm saying? And they threw one to Decker. They threw one to Decker in the end zone. Like, oh my goodness, they tried. And then they threw one to Dan. Then they put Dan out on the route for the second and three, and they threw him out on a 3-yard route and was trying to. So they was like, hey, we got to get this thing in, and we blowing you out so bad and doing things so good that we could keep trying it. That was the funny part. They was just like, we gonna keep trying it. It's like, why not? Like, this is what we want. And then Brady was on. You see, Brady was commentating saying, hey, why are they bringing out all of their good stuff, all of their trick play? You know what I'm saying? That they're going to need this at an important time. Brady, bro, you just ain't been watching Detroit Lions football because you've been winning Super Bowls and stuff. But, bro, that was the most important time for a Lion fan, a Lions coach, and a Lions player, for an offensive lineman to make a positive play in that building. It was, if we had to pull out every play, trick play that we had with an offensive lineman involved in it, it would have been cool with every fan, every player, every coach in the building in the city. Like, cause I was hoping they did it one more time. I was hoping, okay, do it. We got such a big lead. Why not? It looked like they was on the why not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talked about this before we got here. We got to do it. And, you know, this thing just kept happening. But, man, it was so exciting to watch that little fun game inside that game. Because I'm a Lions fan. And did you see all the Cowboys fans like this? Oh, my God. Yay. You see them doing that? The slap in the face. Some of the kids like they're about to throw up and ain't no way they was going to make it to school on Monday. Do you remember us and when they used to pan off on our games and people had bags on their heads and people, I mean, some of the white people was literally red and they was just so stressed. You know what I'm saying? People just sad looking and their hands in their face just, you know what I'm saying? They're dressed up and got stuff all on your face looking like a fool. Your team that got blew out. You know what I'm saying? We know that look. So when they was showing that in the crowd, like, oh, I remember that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't got time to feel sorry because this is our good time. I ain't got time to feel sorry for no Cowboy fan. You know, they was America's team. People love them. I have no time to feel sorry for no Cowboy fan because, you know, they just get too much without getting it. You know what I'm saying? They get too much without earning it sometimes, I believe. Hey, did you know this before I go? That the Lions, that was the first time that the Lions scored 40 points in back-to-back games. Now, all that scoring we did last year, I thought for sure that we had scored 40 points back-to-back. But I think we was in some high 30s. 40s is really a lot. So I guess I'm just, you know, giving them too much credit now. But they haven't done that since 1962. And it was the Chicago Bears, and then they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those were the two games that they played. And that's just something that I threw out there. I'm like, wow, that didn't happen. Well, anyway, this leads us to our player of the game, since everybody did so good. But player of the game is brought to you by Fire Ass Munchies. And that's with an AZZ. They still got, you see I've been smashing my Kool-Aid pack. They still got the Hello Jello. And I don't know if you can see these. This is another one of her little contraptions. You see that? These are nerd ropes and nerd balls and nerd candies. They're real good and real strong. So anyway, holler at Fire Ass Munchies on Instagram. And if you holler at us, and if you mention, if you mention the podcast, Alley Life, All In with Alley Life, she will give you a 25% discount on party setups. I think I was mispronounced. I was saying that everybody think they'll get 25% off of everything they buy. No, that's not the situation. On parties, 25% off of party setups. They're really reasonable anyway. Plus, you got the best tasting stuff anyway. Well, I ain't gonna let this turn into a Fire Ass Munchies commercial. Anyway, player of the game. Man, I gotta give me a drum. I actually got a little machine here that got all that stuff on it. And I could have had a and the people clapping. I can't, but it sounds cheesy. So I'm doing my all right. Player of the game, Brian Branch. Brian Branch, coming off an injury, he just came in and was a monster. He had 5 turnovers, 3 of them Brian Branch. 2 interceptions, and that second one, did you see him gunning for the end zone? He wanted it. He was doing some Barry Sanders stuff, bro. He was doing some running back stuff to get there. He was like a 40-yard run. But he was just that short. He did not see the tackle got pushed off, and he was on the ground, and he just reached up and grabbed his foot and tackled him. He didn't see that because the guy had already been on the ground, so he made the tackle from the ground, which was a good tackle or whatever. But Brian Branch saw BB saw that end zone. He was getting in that end zone, and he forced the fumble that Terrion scooped up and picked up. An intentional force, not one of them, boom, I'm hitting you. I hammered Jack, punched down in there before I make the tackle and try to spin you out the ball, and he punched the ball out. Terrion come and scoop it up. So player of the game is my boy, coming off of injury and missing the game, Brian Branch. Moved to safety from the corner, and I say Amik Robinson being in that slot spot. So Brian Branch don't have to play there at all. They really trust Amik in that spot now. Now, Amik is doing something that he's not normally doing, but he's doing a good job. Amik was an outside cornerback for the Raiders. But he's in there because of the injury to CJ Mosley. So they was going to battle for the spot. Now he took it. BB can play that spot, but they saying if you can keep BB at safety, you see how productive he can be if he can just roam around and have freedom. So with Amik, it's giving BB that he's giving him that permission to go out there and do it because he's locking that spot down. If he wasn't locking that spot down, they would have BB going from corner slot to safety, and they'll be interchanging that. But with Amik holding down that spot, that lets BB stay at a free safety where he could just roam around. And with Kirby on the other end, Kirby leading the lead in interceptions, and you know what I'm saying? And that's only because, I don't know, he only leading the lead because BB was out of game. You know what I'm saying? They got 7. So BB got 3, he got 4. I think BB will have another. He didn't miss that game with the concussion. So the player of the game is Brian Branch with 2 interceptions and a fumble. That's my take on the game. The Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. I mean, it was such a blowout game. It was hard to even have material. All I'm just doing is saying how great everybody was. I didn't say how great Jared was great. He threw for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. Montgomery ran for 2 touchdowns and 80 yards. Jameer ran for, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just did great. So I had to try to just pick some things that was important to me. The Hendon Hooker, I should have put a little more. I like Hendon Hooker. He didn't do a crap when he was in there. I mean, he didn't do bad or nothing, but he didn't do nothing really. But I still like the fact that he got those reps. You know how important those reps is to a young quarterback to be able to go in there to get live reps in a live game in Dallas? That's a big, a big moment. And he went in there, and then you see Jared on the side talking to him after the first series, and he was handling things like, yeah, you got to take that sack. You can't, just teaching them some things, man. And I like that because Jared know, hey, I'm cool. I can teach this young guy and everything because I see him in practice, and dude is not taking my job no time soon. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Like, that's why you just paid him the money. You wouldn't pay Jared a bunch of money if you've been watching practice and Hendon Hooker was the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? So what, you know what I'm saying? You know what's up. That's what I say. I believe in Brad we trust. Brad and Dan. When they make decisions, I believe in them. I'm true that I'm going to make my next video is going to be on in Brad we trust. Because you're like, what is your confidence in them replacing Hutch? Very good. They're not going to replace Hutch with Hutch. Ain't no Hutchinson in the league. You know what I'm saying? So nobody would have replaced him. Like, as far as replacing, you're going to get the same kind of person. It ain't another one. So you can't expect that. But you don't expect nobody to be Hutch. So you can expect somebody to come in and be a good player. But you just don't expect him to be Hutch because he's a great player. So, yeah, can you put a good player there that's going to fit with the system and be productive? Yeah. He just ain't going to be Hutch. But, yeah, he could, yeah, absolutely. The defense should not change. I know everybody thinking, oh, my God, the defense shouldn't change. Not at all. It's not predicated on one person. If DJ Reader went out, the defense ain't going to suffer. When BB was out, which he is going to be one of the greatest safeties, and I think he just roam around, he just make plays, he's just a cerebral player. When BB was out, we still won. You know what I'm saying? That's what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes talks about. Depth. They really are building it. When other teams talk about building it and talk about really having a person there, they really have a person there that they really believe in. Not that everybody got somebody there. But what have you invested in that person that's there? Craig Reynolds. You see Craig Reynolds come in. They've invested in Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds get first-round snaps if he never play. When it's time for Craig Reynolds to play, he ain't going to be out of place because he get those snaps. He know the offense. The same thing with Brock Wright and James Mitchell. When they get time to play, they tell each person, you going to play. It ain't a matter of if you going to play, if you come to the Lions. We're not going to allow nobody to sit on the practice squad or the vet squad for 17 games and never play a game. They promise you that. You won't do that. You won't sit there and never play. They say, we need you. You're not here as a body to fill in just in case something happens. You're going to get a chance to play. Even if something don't happen, you might get less chance to play if something don't happen, but you'll get a chance to play. 100% you're going to be on that field with your brothers in a real game. Win, lose, or draw. And when you tell people, and they believe it, because people say that, but they don't believe it, but then you know they're investing in you. So when you go in, you know they invested in you being successful at it. So even if you don't go in for them again, guess what? You got film. You got real game film that you can show somebody else and go to somebody else and start your career somewhere else. I think that's the beauty of this organization. It's like a farm. We're building the thing. Just like the Tigers got this pitching farm that they could just create all these great pitchers. I don't know how they develop them. We're building that system here where we're creating players that's going to be long-lasting and have longevity, and the depth players. It's not going to be a fall off. Like when you see other teams are like, oh, this player out, oh, the Lions, we're going to beat them because these players are out. That's the only way the Lions going to beat them. We don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? You got Davenport out, you got Hutch out, you got 3 of our best defensive players is out, and we gonna go in that game next week and whoop butt, and not expecting, oh, Hutch is out, and you know, this person is out, and Marcus Davenport is out, and you know what I'm saying, the other linebacker is out, so we just gonna, you know, forward, we ain't gonna be able to stop the run. No, that is not how they think. They like, okay, we're going to stop the run. DJ Reader, you know, Levi, Aleem, you know what I'm saying? Hutch go out there, Aleem, you're going to get 2 sacks this game. Then you get 2 sacks this game since you've been quiet all season. People don't remember you, and you know what I'm saying? They got a real team. That's all I got to say. Hey, like and subscribe to my channel. And if you don't, what I'm going to do? Let me think right now since I do got a little time. If you don't like and subscribe to my channel, oh, I'm going to get an app thing put on my phone where I can, like, follow people who look at me for a minute, and I can link on to your location, and then I can, like, smack you in the back of the head. No, I'm just playing. Anyway, peace. All in with Alley Life. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel.